Let's chat about anxiety. I know a lot of you suffer from anxiety just like me. People in my family suffer with anxiety, and it's really hard because it feels like it takes over your life. However, I'm at the point now where I've been dealing with severe anxiety issues for over 2 years, and I have a lot of tips and advice that I can offer that sometimes help with anxiety attacks. Okay, first I'll talk about some of the physical items that I use, and then I will get into some stuff that I do that's totally free, doesn't cost you anything, and can sometimes help with an anxiety attack. So, whether your anxiety comes from a known issue that you're dealing with, or you just have random panic and anxiety attacks, I think that this will be helpful for everyone. When you start to feel that chest pressure, I usually go for an herb or botanical remedy like magnolia bark extract. It works beautifully. It works very quickly, and it works in almost the same way as medication does, because I really try to use medication as a last resort after the botanical remedy not helping me as much as I thought. There are a lot of other really great botanical and herbs, and I think I have a whole video on this. I'll link it here for you. But some things that I also like to consume internally for anxiety attacks include a cold beverage, maybe a cold sparkling water beverage, and also valerian root. Valerian root can be taken during the day, but if you take a higher serving of it, then you would want to take it before bed. And it's really easy to find valerian root in a lot of different brands and a lot of different kinds of stores. And then there's some other things like chamomile and lavender, making yourself a cup of tea. Although for me, I find that warm liquids don't necessarily help me as much as cold liquids. And I think it's because for some reason there's that coldness that helps with anxiety. That's why they tell you to put like ice on your chest or something when you feel that kind of anxiety attack coming on. I always keep sour candy on hand. Sour candy, for whatever reason, works really well for anxiety. It kind of like shocks your system out of it or makes you focus on something else. And that's also why I really like having peppermint on hand too, because peppermints are something that you can take very discreetly. It makes your breath smell nice, but it also seems to help with my stomach issues that arise from having an anxiety or panic attack. I also find that for me, laying down on my left side helps. So you'll just have to play around and see which way works best for you when you're having an anxiety attack. And for me, I get very lightheaded, so standing is not a good option for me because I feel like I might faint and hit my head. Some other things I've noticed that work really well include cayenne pepper and ginger. I like to make a little drink with water, cayenne pepper, and ginger juice, and it works really well for feeling like I have that blood flowing through my body, my circulation is going. Because again, when I'm having an anxiety attack, I feel like I'm drained and like I'm going to faint. And that really helps me. Now, a lot of my anxiety does come in the evening when I'm trying to go to sleep. And that's why I would recommend some of those things like chamomile, valerian, lavender, and magnolia bark extract. And then you can consume those before bed. And blue lotus is a good one too, actually. Kava helps with some people. For some people, it doesn't. Kratom helps some people. Sometimes it doesn't. You would just have to find which one your body best responds to. Right now, some totally free things that you can do is to take a hot or cold bath or shower, whatever you are comfortable with, and whichever one your body responds the best to. And then lots of different breathing exercises. And you really have to try to control your breath. I feel like that's a really big piece on getting that anxiety under control again. So I like to do the box breathing, they call it, or the square breathing. So you would breathe in for a count, go across as you're drawing a box, and you can just visually do it with your eyes, or you can actually do it with your finger. And you can even have someone who lives with you or works with you walk you through that. If you talk to them about it beforehand and they understand how to do it, they can sit there and help you work through it as well. And obviously, if you deal with anxiety, there are certain things that you should stay away from in your diet. If you stay away from acidic foods, caffeine, alcohol, those things are only going to make your anxiety worse. So even if you don't notice a difference right away, long term, that's actually going to help you. Some people like going for a walk when they're starting to feel this chest pressure come on. And I find that some light physical activity can be beneficial, but there's a certain point that I get to that any physical activity is going to exacerbate my symptoms, which I definitely don't want. And then I find that just being active physically daily, whether that's yoga, Pilates, stretching, walking, any of those things, just doing that daily has helped so much with my anxiety, almost more than anything else. So making sure that you're always working on your cardiovascular system and working on getting any of that stress out of your body, it really, really is going to help. And my different types of workouts changed with the seasons because I've done CrossFit, bodybuilding, weightlifting. Right now, I'm actually doing Pilates, and it's wonderful because it gives you good mobility. It still gets my heart rate up a little bit, but not too high, and I modify it for my needs. It definitely helps having someone there for you that maybe they don't deal with anxiety, but you talk to them about it, educate them on it, and tell them what works best for you, and they can try to help you out. When I first had a lot of panic attacks, I would have my significant other bring me orange juice. And I don't know what it was about orange juice. I don't know if it was the sugar content or what, but orange juice always calmed me down a little bit. And honestly, I think apple juice does that for me as well. So it just depends on the person, and we're all a little bit different. But I would say try at least some of these once and see if it makes a difference for you. And I know meditation and journaling is really helpful. I personally just don't do it. I haven't had the discipline to do it, and I really should because I do think it would improve my quality of life. And scents mean a lot to me too, like lavender and eucalyptus and citrusy scents. So, getting essential oils and just putting some in your hands, rubbing your hands together, and breathing it in can be really helpful for some people. And if you're sensitive to that kind of stuff, then don't do that. But for me, I've found it really, really helps if I have peppermint or lavender oil, and it helps with nausea too. I know anxiety is really, really hard to deal with. I've been there. I'm still currently going through it. And some days I just want to feel like I'm normal again. And I realize that my life looks a little bit differently now that I have an anxiety disorder. However, I try to keep a positive outlook despite that, and it really means a lot when I connect to you guys who also deal with anxiety. So, if you relate to any of the stuff I've been saying in this video, leave me a comment. Let's have a conversation because I love to talk to people that understand me and get me and know what I'm going through. Thanks so much for watching this video today. Remember, we are all botanical queens, and I'll see you soon in the next video.